Good afternoon, good afternoon. My name is Zed, and thank you for joining me here at the tavern. Today we're going to be talking about different things such as things that I find notable in news, a couple of Second Amendment topics, Heroes of the Week, Medal of Honor winner, so on and so forth. And today we got a couple of good things going for you. Hopefully I'm not going to have as many issues that I did on that last stream, which was my first stream. And we won't have any issues with the muting and so on and so forth. So, having said all of that, let's kind of dive into this. First thing we're going to talk about is our notable news segment. Okay? And these are just little trinkets that I find on the internet. Could be from the last week, it could be from a couple of months ago, it could be from any time I really found it. And I want to share it to you because I think some of this stuff is pretty neat. First thing we're going to talk about is a teacher. Here, let me get rid of my video so you can see all of this. Teacher transforms students' drawings of monsters into plush toys. Now, at first you're thinking, okay, what's this? These kids are like 6 years old. These kids are kindergarten, first grade. And this teacher down in Melbourne, Australia, had these youngsters take these dreams that they had or their ideas of monsters and draw them out for. And as you can see here, some of them turned out to be pretty interesting drawings. And she turned around and made them into plush toys so they wouldn't be afraid. Little things like this give me pause in getting rid of all public school systems because I'm not going to hold any bones about it. I dislike the public school system. I think kids need to be taught at home or in a private setting. We're not doing our kids justice at the rate that we're going. However, teachers like this give us hope. And come down here. Here's Oscar, one of the drawings that were made, and she turned into a real life plushie for him. And the thing is once she did these drawings or had these kids do these drawings, and then she went home, made these plush toys, she turned around and gave them to the kids. So that in and of itself is pretty awesome in my book. And I believe that this teacher needs to be recognized. Let's see here. I did have her name written down, and I went and I threw it away. Let's see here. That's one of the parents. Maybe she's up here at the top. Let's read Parker. That's one of the students' parents. Oscar, kindergarten class. Well, I'm not going to bore you with trying to locate this teacher, but here's the thing. You got good teachers out there. We need to celebrate them because, to be honest with you, too many good teachers are getting thrown to the wayside because the city, the state, they're pushing them that way. So, all right, let's go to our next one. All right, Kilauea. Now, we've known that Kilauea has been going off for a little while. Make sure I'm muted on the volume on that. It's been blowing up for the past year, and then for the past 6-8 weeks, somewhere in that nature, for the last 6 to 8 weeks, it's been eerily quiet. Now, when I say it's been eerily quiet, they really haven't had any seismic activity, they haven't had any blowouts or anything like that, and then all of a sudden, it resumed its burping. Okay? Now, what's neat about it is this is one of the few places on Earth that you can see an active live volcano, and you have as much video footage as you can get of this, which is just amazing. I'm kind of a science type of individual. I like watching nature. I like watching space, history, stuff like that. And volcanoes, they're pretty neat. Moving on to something that's a little less happy, but this happened in this past week. Ken Block, rally driver, YouTuber, he was killed in a snowmobile accident a couple of days back. Now, most people don't know who he is unless they're into cars. This guy is a rally car driver. He is one of the best drivers on the planet. And the stuff he can do with a vehicle is unreal. For whatever reason, 55 years old, big man upstairs said it was time to come home. So, Ken Block, uh, amazing individual, and he's going to be missed. By the way, if you don't know who he is, you can find him on YouTube. Look at some of his videos. Right here, I'm going to highlight that for you right quick. Gymkhana, that video series, I'm going to play a little part of it. Amazing. He's also the co-founder for DC Shoes, skatewear, and for Hoonigan Industries, which is what he owned. So, unfortunately, we lost him a little too soon. Now, on a different note, if you happen to watch any of his stuff, you will notice that his daughter is picked up in his shoes. And for 14, 15 years old, in some of the videos that we saw, amazing. And I highly suggest watching some of those old videos and keep her in your peripheral, because she will be someone to look for. Alright, now let's see here. I make sure I got this muted. I don't want no copyright of anything. And I'm just going to play little segments of here. So, right now he's inside that container with his vehicle and over in London. And he's got the London military, or the British military, dropping him off. And some of the things he does is just unreal. Let's see if we can make this a little bigger for everyone. And like I said, I'm going to skip through this a little bit. Alright, so that's a Mustang that he, well, if you want to call it a Mustang, everything about it is not a Mustang except for maybe parts of the chassis there. All-wheel drive, and this is an older version of it. His newer one's actually got twin turbos on it, and the stuff that he can do with this car is unreal. You might recognize him from an old TV show back in the 90s and early 2000s. Oh, look at this. My co-host in life has finally showed up a couple minutes late. Alright, here we go. Like I said, we're going to skip around and look at some of the stuff that he does. An amazing driver. And again, I have the volume off on some of these videos here just due to the fact that I don't need any copyright here or there. I don't want someone taking a video down that I'm hoping I can eventually do without a whole lot of mistakes going forward. You take a look at some of his driving skills here, about to come up. Unreal. And I believe that vehicle there had 11 or 1200 horsepower. And the new one, when he did all the additional upgrades to it, I believe that actually turned out to be somewhere around 15 or 1600 horsepower. And yeah, he can pretty much light up all four of those tires at any given time and just smoke everyone out of the room. He would actually go to different cities, you know, across the United States and across the world. Here, he's in London. He's in it in California. I want to say LA, San Francisco, and some other various places. And they shut down roads for him. And they shut down these roads so he can come through, do his advertising, do his playing in his car, and the amount of money and everything that was brought into the area, unreal. Unreal. Come out here a little bit. And he didn't just do this car here. He's got a rally car that he does this with. He's got a pickup that he does it with. He's got several different things that he drives. Um, he's even got a boat, and it's just amazing some of the stunts that he would do. So yeah, we lost this gentleman way, way too early, and it's gonna be sad to see him go. Hopefully, his daughter can pick up his footsteps, and we can go from there. All right, let's go ahead and get out of this. All right, so we're gonna go into our next segment here. It's my 2A segment. It is a segment that it's a Second Amendment segment. I don't do like huge breakdowns. I don't do shooting breakdowns or anything like that. Typically, I want to show different sides of how the Second Amendment can protect you, how you need to be vigilant, whether you're a cop, whether you're not. Arvolt, good to see you. Let's see, we've also got News Now. That one's in here. Let's see who else we got. Diggs, BTW. All right. So this next segment here, it's an old one. It's out of, I believe it's Lakewood, Colorado, I believe. Just to give a little bit of insight on this one here. Police officer stopped at an intersection here. She had heard that a gentleman was shot or had shot and killed a woman at the front desk of a hotel, and he was walking down the street. She figured out where he was walking from. She met him in the street, and then a gunfight ensued. Basically, he shot at her, she shot at him, and I'm not going to give too much away right here, but it's something that is extremely important for people to realize that you could just be at an intersection and all hell breaks loose. You need to know what to do. You need to know what you can and can't be jumping in on, and what you need to do to stay safe on your side. So let's go ahead and jump into our Second Amendment segment here. All right, here we go. I already got this queued up. As you can see here, we got this muted. Again, we don't need to listen to any of the video on here. And here we go. I'm going to just pause it here and there so that you guys can take a look at what I'm trying to point out. Okay, so right up here, you can see this little mouse going. That right there is a female officer. She's about to walk out in front of her vehicle here. Okay. Now you see this white car here, it pulls up, you got some pedestrians up this way. Obviously you got some cars going through the intersection up here, and she's got it stopped right there. Now this gentleman here that's walking up, that is the gentleman that she is there to confront. Right now he doesn't have anything in his hands. She's basically telling him to, hey look, I need you to keep your hands free. Pulls out a gun, and then right here, okay, she's pointing at him. He's got it there. Now take a look at what we got going on around us. You got a couple of vehicles over this way, getting ready to come through the intersection. You got that white car that motioned to you earlier. Got a couple of vehicles up here. She has done the perfect job of getting away from him. The only thing I would say that she probably could have done just a little bit different is motion or put her body behind the vehicle as best she could. But this is 2020. This is hindsight. This is me looking at it as an outsider, not being there in that moment. Okay. I would always suggest get some type of cover between you and whoever might be shooting at you or who you might be shooting at. Plus this right here, reduces the risk of a crossfire, maybe hitting someone in the background that might be innocent. Let's go ahead and play it. And again, just take a look at this here. She backs up, she's got it, and he starts shooting. She goes down, she gets up. Now let's go back just a touch right here. Okay? Now he's right here. He shot her, she went down. Now she has enough fortitude in what she's doing to continue to fight. So he moves and she shoots him and he goes down up there. Now, real quick, I'll pause this while everyone's squirming on the ground. You can see the cars back here backing up, getting out of the way. This car here just stays. Now, if I would have been that driver there, I probably would have tried to reverse out of there a little bit quicker. However, they stay right there, and right now, they're going to have the assailant down on the ground here, and the cop down this way. Now, she's still moving around. She's still actively on the radio, trying to call for backup. Okay? People up top here, they're hightailing it out. They're not even going through the intersection. Okay? This guy is pretty much laid motionless for a while now. And he's just laying there. She's still squirming, so that's good. There's still life there. Take a look over here at the Xfinity store over this way. They're closing up all the gates. Okay? They're probably on the phone. Calling 911. Here comes an officer responding. He's got her. He drags her out of the way because he doesn't know the situation up there, and that's a good deal of blood that she's losing right there. You kind of need that stuff. It belongs on the inside. Okay. As we progress here, and you can kind of sort of down here see the flashing lights. Okay, down here in the bottom. Let me go ahead and remove my camera. Up this way, you can see the other cops coming in. Now this cop here pulls up and around, okay? So they pulled her out to safety. He pulls up this way. These two cops here, they're using the vehicle for cover, okay? And what they don't want to do is a crossfire situation, so they're kind of staying here so they can see what's going on. This other cop, he comes running up this way. Now, I probably would have stayed over here just as a precaution to keep anyone else from moving in, okay? But he elected to come up this way. Again, the situation on the ground is what it is. I'm not saying that what they did is right or wrong. I'm just kind of doing this as a 20/20 on the backside here. And yeah, she's leaking. She's leaking pretty good there. All right, so we see that they're yelling commands at him. He rolls over. He's on his back now. Now, I want you to take a look at this vehicle over here, this white car that I keep mentioning, okay? As they're moving up and they're trying to get him, that female cop, she nailed him, and I don't know if the bullet went through him or if it was one that she missed with, but it hit this car, and it looks like it busted the coolant. Okay, whether it hit the, whether it was a radiator or whatever the deal was there, you can see that it was leaking. So this is what I'm talking about when you are, in an active shooter situation of any type. Okay, if you see stuff going on around you, you got to keep your eyes peeled. If you're part of it and you're got a pistol or whatever the case is, you need to know what's going on around you in the backside. Okay, you don't want to hit anyone that is an innocent by any stretch of the imagination. All right. As we come up this way, and they've got him, we're subdued. They're rolling him over, disarming him, and such. You're going to see this other police car, the SUV, pull out come up around the corner and just tear down this road over here by this other police car here. And I'm only going to be able to assume that she is being taken to the hospital by someone at that point. Let's see here. Yep, there it goes. That's my assumption there, is they're hauling her ass to the hospital quick and in a hurry. So this is one that bad guy did not get away. This is one of those 2A topics where I can sit back and, 2020 it all day long, because of the fact that, I'm sitting on this side of the computer. I'm not sitting there. I do have a little background in, firefights and whatnot. But here's the deal. As a bystander, as someone that's actually going to, most of us are going to be bystanders if anything happens. Okay? Understand what's going on around you as best you can, as quickly as you can. Assess the situation and get somewhere to save your own skin quickly. So, let's see here. Arbolt says this is also why cops use hollow points, less chance of punching through. Also true. Self-defense rounds make little holes going in, big holes going out, and typically don't really punch through walls like they used to back in the day, when everything was a ball or a lead cord projectile. All right. Let's see here. Moving on. We're going to go on to my Zed's Heroes of the Week. Now, the Heroes of the Week, like last week, we had the young man that saved his mom. I got another one here for you. Got you another one here. And I'm just going to talk about this one here just for a quick second before I hit play on it. Alright, so 15-year-old is being hailed a hero after lifting a truck that has fallen on his father's chest. The brakes on the truck that Matthew Wilkinson uses for work needed immediate repair. And unfortunately, or fortunately, his son had come out to the garage and agreed to help his dad. Okay. As he was trying to take the rotor off, he found it was stuck. He needed a better angle for it to get some leverage. And what ends up happening is he puts himself in a position that no mechanic would ever in their right mind do, and every mechanic has done on more than one occasion. Okay? So, puts himself in a position where if that vehicle comes off the jack stands, he's going to be hurting. Okay? And we're going to watch a little bit of it here. Okay? See, make sure I got muted. Alright, so here comes the video. Alright, and I know they're going to show a little bit more than that, but as you can see, you got that gentleman right there. That is here, let's
Matthew Wilkinson remembers thinking he had to get the work done on his truck that night.
We were having problems getting the rotor off.
But on what should have been a normal Monday night for the Wilkinson family, the security system on their Oakdale home captured this.
I couldn't get a good angle, so I slid my body underneath the truck. The second it popped off, the truck fell. I know it rolled forward because I saw it roll forward and it fell right on top of me. And all I could think about was the breath coming out of me. I was just squished, and I couldn't talk. I couldn't yell.
The terrifying video shows the truck fall. Matthew was stuck. The accident left him with a punctured lung, broken ribs. His shoulder is separated.
All right, you see the young man sitting to the guy's right on that couch? That's the 15-year-old. If you would have told me that young man picked up a truck, I'd have said you were lying to me. But we got video of it, and this young man needs every single opportunity moving forward to make the best out of his life and his family's life. I will continue watching.
So all this time in the hospital, I'm trying to figure out how I got out from under the truck, right? And I'm thinking about, oh, I got a surveillance camera, right? So I called my kid and had him look at the surveillance camera, and they realized that he lifted the truck enough for me to roll out.
You could see it, and it just dropped right on him, and I was scared. I mean, I heard him make like noise, like his soul was leaving his body. It was crazy.
But like plenty of times before, 15-year-old Dolan had been helping his dad work on the truck that night.
I was jumping around, asking what to do, and I didn't know what to do, and I just immediately just jumped to the back of the truck. I just ran over and just tried with, like, as hard as I could, just tried to get it up enough to get him out.
It was enough. The video shows Matthew freeing himself.
My son is my hero. He saved my life.
And while there is a recovery ahead, the family says Dolan is their hero, but for the high school freshman.
I was just worried I didn't help. That's all I was really worried about, but now I'm just glad he's okay. That's all that's really going through my mind right now.
In Oakdale, Leanne Denyer, KCRA 3 News.
Now to a KCRA 3 exclusive.
So what do you think about this? What do you guys think about this here? I mean, this young man comes in, sees his dad's in trouble, jumps on here, lifts a truck up off his dad, and saves his life. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. I'm not crying, y'all are crying. All right, let's see here. All right, this is one that was given to me. Firefighter, all that I could do to save a skier's life after an avalanche in Neff's Canyon. All right, so this one here. This off-duty firefighter happens to be going through, hiking through, skiing and whatnot, and he comes across a guy that got pinched up in an avalanche. All right, the gentleman's name is Tom Albrecht. Okay, he was cross-country skiing near Neff's Canyon, and all of a sudden, he got Actually, I take that back. The gentleman that did the rescuing was Tom Albrecht, and as he's going through cross country skiing. Yeah, I'm from the desert. We don't do any skiing, so this cross country stuff is kind of in snow. You know, that's kind of weird to me. Anyway, they're out there playing in the snow, and he hears someone calling for help and whatnot. So he's an off-duty EMT, off-duty firefighter, and he gets out there. He finds this guy. Okay. He finds this guy down that way. And he's like, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call my wife because she knows where I'm at. I've got spotty cell service. She can get a hold of 911, so on and so forth. So he gets a hold of this guy and digs him out, realizes he's hurt, cold, hungry, gives him some type of nutrition. I think it was a granola bar or something that he had on him. Up in Utah, they do weird stuff like that, granola bars and whatnot. Anyway, he goes running around trying to make this guy as comfortable as possible after he pulls him out. Takes a jacket out of his bag, so on and so forth. Even once he realizes he's done everything that he can, he makes a bench for this guy to sit on so that he can sit on this snow bench with this guy and keep him warm, keep him propped up right, okay? And this EMT, instead of going, all right, well, I've done everything I can for you, I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to try and get people up here a little quicker, he stays with them. And if you've ever heard of any type of situations where rescue situations, people leave and then they come back and the person that they come back to is dead, okay? A lot of times it's that companionship that keep people motivated. keep them pushing. That constant reminder, hey, everything's going to be okay. That's what this EMT did. He didn't leave. He didn't, say, hey, look, I'll be right back. I know where we are. No, he stayed there. And after hours and hours, I think there was 8 hours worth that he was up there with him. And there was a little bit of weather, so they couldn't get to him any quicker. Once that weather passed and they were able to get up there and save him, it was an amazing thing. EMTs, firefighters, police, they don't get the credit that they're due. That's kind of what this channel is about. You got these small heroes, whether they're kids or whether they're, saving their mom or they're saving their dad. It's little things like that that we need to take to heart and appreciate, and that's why I'm doing this. Okay? We got a firefighter that could have easily said, hey, look, I got you bandaged up, I got you situated, you're stable, I'm going to go get help. But he didn't. He said, I'm staying here with you, we're going to make it through this, both of us. And that's what he did. And I don't have a picture of of either gentleman. This just happened recently. I want to say this happened in, mid-December 2022, okay, is when this article came out. But this is what this is all about. Celebrating those that come in and do the job that we need them to do, and then go above and beyond. We got many police that come out and do the job that they're supposed to, firemen, EMTs, and they don't get celebrated for it. And that's what we're here for. All right. Now, the next thing we're moving into is the Medal of Honor segment. And this right here is one of my most favorite segments that we're going to be moving into. And the reason it's one of my most favorite is because I learned so much about some of these badasses, okay? You don't get a Medal of Honor just for being a regular individual. These people are amazing. And today's Medal of Honor recipient that we're going to be talking about here is James Allen, U.S. Army. This is back in the U.S. Civil War. He got it. He got the Medal of Honor as a private, and his highest rank was a corporal. All right, here we go. Mr. James Allen over here, okay? And I'm going to read you the citation, and it's not, the citation is not like the last one, okay? As we've progressed through the ages, the citations have been more wordy, they've been more inclusive of what the actual heroic act was. There's a couple of Apache Indians that actually have a Medal of Honor, and their citation is all of about 7 words long. So I'm doing more research into it to figure out exactly what these guys did to get a Medal of Honor, because you don't just get a Medal of Honor just for showing up, okay? So let's talk a little bit about James Allen real quick. James Allen, okay, he was actually awarded it in person September 11th of 1890. He was born May 5th in Ireland, of all places, okay? He died in 1913, St. Paul, Minnesota, on August 31st. So he lived a good little life there, okay? I'm not going to say he lived the longest of lives, but he lived a good little life. And for someone that got the Medal of Honor, he actually got to live with that, where most people are getting that posthumously, okay? So the citation reads, give me 1 second here. The citation reads, single-handedly and slightly wounded, he accosted a squad of 14 Confederate soldiers bearing the colors of the 16th Georgia Infantry By an imaginary ruse, he secured their surrender and kept them at bay when the regimental commander discovered him and rode away for assistance. I read this, and I went, what in the hell actually happened? So I did a little research. And I'm going to read you what exactly I found. Now, you're looking at this picture of this guy here. I guarantee you this is not what he looked like when this all happened. Because what I'm about to read you is a 17-year-old man, maybe 18, was the one that did all this. Actually, I take that back. He was 19 when it happened. So he wouldn't have had this big bushy beard at 19. Alright, here we go. 24th of April, 1861, 17-year-old James Allen enlisted in the Army at Potsdam, New York, joining Company F of the 16th New York Infantry. He would see action in all the major battles of the Army of the Potomac, from Bull Run to Chancellorsville. He was discharged at the end of his term on 26 May 1863. He was only in for 2 years. Allen's most notable day in the service took place on 14 September 1862, so he would have been 18, when he was engaged with his regiment at the Battle of South Mountain, Maryland. Allen's extraordinary actions would eventually see him awarded the Medal of Honor. James Allen was born in Ireland on the 5th of May, 1843. September of 1862, the then 19-year-old was part of the Union force attempting to prize the Confederates from the South Mountain passes, as the Army of the Potomac attempted to fall on the then divided Army of Northern Virginia. Allen and his comrades in the 16th New York found themselves facing the enemy in Crampton's Gap. He and his brigade advanced towards the rebel positions under cover of hedge and cornfield, where they formed in the line of battle and prepared to advance. The 16th New York moved through the unharvested corn and towards the enemy, who were positioned at the base of the mountain. They began to come under combined fire from rebel artillery and infantry, with the latter located behind a stone wall and in a wood to their front. What became a 45-minute firefight developed, and casualties began to mount. The regiment's color sergeant fell dead, shot through the forehead by a bullet. As the regiment realigned itself at the tall corn, Allen and one of his comrades named Richards became separated and suddenly found themselves along near the stone wall. Richards turned to the Irishman, asking, "Now what have we to do, Jim?" Allen replied, "Charge the wall, I reckon. That's what we came here for." They both charged forward at a group of rebels behind the wall. All assumed the soldiers were part of a larger force. Much to the two Federals' surprise, the enemy turned tail and fled. While pursuing the retreating Confederates, Richards went down, struck with what would turn out to be a mortal wound to his left leg. Placing him against a tree, the Irishman continued to advance up the slope of the mountain. As the rebels moved into the pass proper, one turned and fired, cutting Allen's coat and shirt and grazing the skin of his right arm. Undeterred, Allen stopped to load his gun and continued the fight. At this point, the Irishman suddenly realized how horribly exposed he was. He quickly sought cover behind a wall that ran along the pass, behind which lay the enemy. There, James Allen pondered his next move, one which would be the most important of his life. Retreat was not an option, as it would expose him to the Confederate fire, and would make clear to the rebels that they were being assailed by a solitary soldier. He saw only one possible way out. Allen decided that the best course of action was to continue to fool the Confederates into believing they faced superior numbers. In order to do this, he had to maintain his confident display, and there was only one way to achieve this. No doubt after a deep intake of breath, Allen threw himself over the wall and into the midst of the Confederates. Regaining his wits, he found himself confronted by 14 soldiers of the 16th Georgia Infantry. One of the men carried the regiment's colors, and Allen determined to take it as his prize. He roared at the rebels to surrender, doing so in such an authoritative and threatening manner that all the men complied. He retrieved the colors, ordered his prisoners to stack their arms and remove their cartridge boxes. Once this was achieved, the Irishman quickly interposed himself between the Confederates and their weapons. Allen and his Confederate prisoners were engaged in conversation when Colonel Seaver, at the 16th New York, rode up. The commanding officer sent for an detachment to take control of the prisoners, and Private Allen continued at the mountain with his unit, still carrying the enemy colors with him. The fighting for the day was concluded, and the young Irishman had successfully pulled off a masterstroke of deception. Seaver was impressed enough to mention the incident in his official report. James Allen continued to serve following his discharge from the 16th New York in 1863, spending the final 2 years of the war as a member of the military railroad service. However, nothing would match his experience of the 14th September of 1862. James Allen was promoted to corporal for his actions at Crampton's Gap. Greater recognition was to follow on 11 September 1890, when the Irishman was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. His citation read, "Single-handedly and slightly wounded, he accosted a squad of 14 Confederate soldiers, bearing the colors of the 16th Georgia Infantry. By an imaginary ruse, he secured their surrender and kept them at bay when the regiment commander discovered him and rode away for assistance." After the war, Allen moved to St. Paul, Minnesota, where he lived on Wabasha Street, becoming a member of the Garfield Post of the Grand Army of the Republic. The color he captured ended up in Washington, and in later life, Allen made efforts to secure the flag as a family heirloom, even making representations to Congress in relation to it. The courageous Irishman lived into his 70s, passing away on August 31st, 1913. This man, at the age of 18 years old, went up against 14 other men and scared them enough as a solitary individual to lay down arms and surrender, and then continue to fight. This is why I do this, because most of y'all, myself included, will never hear of stories like this unless we go looking for them. And if I can bring a little bit of heroism to y'all, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to do a little remembrance for Mr. James Allen. Good shit. Highly recommend. James Allen, to you. All right. We're going to move into our next segment here. Suicide prevention. All right. This one's kind of a rough one to talk about. I've had several of my buddies take their own lives. And it's one of them things that you just don't get over very easy, because you want to make sure that your buddies are always with you. And you want to be able to talk to them and have them talk to you as well. So, suicide prevention. Over 21 million U.S. veterans today, and over 1.4 million active duty service members, and over 2.3 million first responders. First responders I'm including firemen, police, EMTs, paramedics. While the numbers are scarce in regards to first responder and active duty service members, veteran suicides are nearly 22 a day. Let me say that again. Veteran suicides are nearly 22 a day. And in my opinion, one a day is too much. There is no single cause of suicide. The complex group of factors leading to suicide have many indicators that all of us can be on the lookout for. But it's not limited to these, okay? Prior suicide attempts, mental health conditions, PTSD included, major life events, divorce, job loss, death of a loved one, many more. Characteristics associated with veteran and first responders having lesser of a likelihood of committing suicide, but not limited to, would be positive coping skills. And I hate to say it, but damn it, sarcasm is included in positive coping skills. And if you don't believe me, just take a look. Having a purpose in life. Having connection with other people. Taking care of others. And this includes pets. Access to mental health. And I guarantee you, a lot of your servicemen, a lot of your policemen, a lot of your EMTs, first responders, they're not going to go asking for help. You might need to push into it. As I stated earlier, while numbers surrounding the suicides of first responders and active duty are scarce, veteran suicides are nearly 22 a day, and one a day is too much. To my veteran, active duty, and first responding brothers and sisters in need, to all of the family and friends of veterans, active duty and first responders in need, there is help out there. Please take a step back, take a pause, reach out. We are here to help, to listen, to provide support. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. The Suicide and Crisis Lifeline now has a simple 3-digit phone number for those of us to make it easier for our brain housing groups to recall. 988. Again, that number is 988. And if you're a veteran, press 1. Brothers and sisters, please take a step back, take a moment to pause, and reach out. Suicide is not something to trifle with. And if you're thinking about it, reach out. Okay? It's not the end of the world until you end it. There's always help. There's always help. Alright. Get around to something a little bit better suited for what we are trying to do. This right here is going to be the FAFO segment. Let's see. Well, here's our technical difficulty of the day. I somehow got rid of one of my own tabs. So here we go. See if I got this fixed. Alright, so I can't make this video any larger, so you're going to have to take a little bit of a look to it. This is a guy rescuing his dog from an attacking mountain lion. Now, it's hard to see, but there's a dog right here. Over here, it's a mountain lion, and right behind the mountain lion is another damn dog. who is, chicken shit. I don't know. It doesn't do anything. Alright, here we go. That mountain lion grabbed a hold of him. And back here you can see the old man. Comes running up. Now that mountain lion's got that dog by the back of the neck. And that old man just starts whooping the piss out of that mountain lion. And you see that dog struggling. That old man just keeps whooping the piss out of that mountain lion. He gets that little chocolate lab over that way, kind of hooting and hollering. You can see that dog, he ain't going down without a fight, that's for damn sure. The old man steps on that mountain lion, starts kicking on that mountain lion, steps on it, and that dog gets away. I'm going to watch it one more time here, just how quick all this happens. Now that chocolate lab looked like he may have bit that mountain lion on the ankle, but he didn't do much more than that. FAFO. Fuck around and find out. You fuck around with someone's dog, you're going to find out exactly what's about to happen to you. Alright. So yeah. So that one there, that old man took care of business, saved his dog. I'm guessing that dog probably needed a couple of stitches here and there, but that mountain lion, if you saw that old man, he was standing on not only its back leg, but also on its neck. So I'm guessing that mountain lion probably got a couple more whacks after that video stopped. Alright, now moving on to the next one. Make this a little bigger here. Alright. You're going to see this little boy right here. And there's going to be a dog that plays with that little boy. Now, if you take a look across the street on this one here, you're going to see a guy out there. There's a dog over that way. And that dog is fucking psycho. Alright, here we go. I'm not putting any volume to this because I don't know all the curse words on this one, so any curse words said on this channel will probably be through me 9 out of 10 times. Little boy goes running out, and you look up here, you see that dog hauling ass out this way. Now take a look over here where that little boy's at. Whoop. That German Shepherd. We're going to watch this again here in just a moment. Alright, so that little boy goes running out, and that German Shepherd's out there playing with him. That's a good boy. And that good boy happened to see this dog hauling ass down the road. Now, I will say that the owner of that dog was yelling, and he did respond fairly quickly coming after that dog. However, you are no match for a dog when it comes to a foot race. You are no match for a dog when it comes to a foot race. And that little boy is no match for that dog right there. And then that German Shepherd knocked that little boy down, getting in between him and that dog. Now watch this. He immediately jumped up there. Now we got this other good boy over here that's coming in for the fight too. And they chasing that dog around, and he gets a hold of his hind leg and watch this dog sprawl out and slide across this pavement here. He did not know what the hell happened. Now mama come out because her baby's out here getting yelled at by these dogs. And the good boy over here, he immediately is listening to mama going, I didn't do it. I'm helping. Boy's okay. And then he takes a posture of protection over this way while this dog is still running loose. Now, I will give credit to this guy here in the orange. After he shoos that dog away, he yells at this lady and asks her, is that boy okay? Is your baby okay? Now, day late and a dollar short if that dog would have bit into this boy, if you ask me. His heart's in the right place. He needs to secure that dog up. And you can see that dog turn around. Protection posture, keeping an eye on the enemy. Okay? He's ready to do what he needs to do if need be. Keeps looking at the master, going, hey, look. Okay? We're going to watch it one more time. And I want you guys to take a think about this. Imagine if you were that guy in that orange shirt down that way. Okay? And your dog took off after a little boy. Would your heart drop? I know mine would. Problem is, my dogs are like this one right here. They're protectors. Watch his teeth. Look at that. Nose to nose with him. That nose to nose is saying, I'm about to F you up. Grabs a hold of him by the scruff of his neck right there. Protecting that little boy. Chasing him away from that little boy. And one more time from the beginning without me hitting pause or anything crazy. Just to show you how fast this is. A 28-second video. 28 seconds. That was it. And that good boy looking at that mama going, hey, did I do good? I do good? Hell yeah, I did good. All right. Now we come to one of my most favorite segments of all time. It's called This Day in History. And, come on out here to camera number 3. This Day in History. Provided you, courtesy of Mr. Steven, gave this to me one day. I don't remember if it was a birthday or if it was a Christmas, but I appreciate it. And I do look at it, and I like to go through it. And we're going to pick out today. Today is January 8th. So let's see here what we got here. January 8th in history. 1790. George Washington delivers the first State of the Union address on January 8th, 1790. President delivered it in New York City before a joint session of Congress. In the rather short speech, he called for the creation of a standing army, the development of agriculture and commerce, and the encouragement of science and literature by the government. Amazing. All right. Let's see here. What else we got going on? 1901. The first National Bowling Championship is held in Chicago, Illinois. This is a shout out to the missus on this one. That's where she's from. The American Bowling Congress held the event, which included a team and individual competitions. Frank Brill, B-R-I-L-L, won the individual bowling championship with a score of 648. Now, I've bowled a time or two in my life. I don't know what the hell a score of a 648 is. What I understood was the highest score you can get was 300, but hey, what do I know? And in 1959, Charles de Gaulle is inaugurated as President of France. He would remain the president for the next 10 years. De Gaulle had led the Free French forces in resisting the German occupation during World War II and served as Minister of Defense and Prime Minister in 1958. While president, de Gaulle held the country together during a political turmoil of the Algerian War for Independence. He was a major figure of the Cold War, opposing U.S. control of NATO. You may have had something there. All right. This right here pretty much wraps up everything that I've got for you. I appreciate you all coming out for the stream. Arvolt, Katie Zed. Let's see, who else we got? Pretzel Rocks. I appreciate the music that y'all gave us. Okay. I know we got a couple. Crystal, I appreciate you showing up. Thank you very much. After 30 plus years, still hanging around. We've got, let's see here. I know that we had, at one point, we had News Now was in here. I appreciate y'all. The chat. Not all that good with responding to the chat other than just off of audio at the moment. I will get better where I'll be able to type in here. And yes, for that plug that Miss Katie is looking for, PM stream on her channel, guys. She's got Overruled and Crime Land coming up. Okay, so if you want to throw in your tag in there, your what is that called? Your URL, Mrs. Z. If you want to throw that in there, come on, throw that in for the troops. And one more thing for you before we head out of here. If you have a suggestion for a hero of the week, please email me a link and a brief description to mrzmedia@gmail.com. And if for whatever reason you need to follow somebody on social media, which I'm kind of boring, but if you want to, you can check out YouTube. I've got 2 videos on there after today. Twitter, I do update Twitter every now and again. And DLive, I think you'll be able to hit DLive a little bit for videos here and there. Outside of that, it's going to be mainly Twitter, I guess. I don't really do much on Instagram or anything like that. YouTube, if you're watching, I've got 2 videos so far, so hopefully add more. And if you got anything else, suggestions on content or whatnot, I will read it. Go ahead and send all that information to mrzmedia@gmail.com. And again, I appreciate you guys coming out. This is just something for me to do. This is just a little fun for me to have on my off time. And thank you, much appreciated. And may we learn more about some of our heroes as we move on. And again, I hope you all have a good one. Thank you.